What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Gatchin Rockets here. I hope y'all are having a good weekend, slash having a good day. Really quick, the market pretty much did exactly what we were looking for. Well, not exactly, but we would have had some drawdown. This was our area to get in calls, and we had mentioned, depending on how often or how many times this level here was hit in the overnight session, there was a good chance we break through that. Um, Let me delete this really quick just to get some stuff out of the way. And then, as always, we had the spike on the M period. Basically, excuse me, new higher high on the day on the L period. Buy sometime during the M period, and it's going to spike up and make a new higher high. Little money hack. I do not know why my throat is bothering the hell out of me right now, making talking difficult. All right, I am fairly surprised that we almost made an equal low here, but is what it is. All right. Oh, and I guess really quickly for my futures people, since market's open, buy side high volume node 6693 to 6697. What is looking like a sell side high volume node 6720 to 6726. I'll be looking to get in here if we get this 30-minute candle open and close below, and they give us a retest of this area. I'll be short. Or if we break below the previous day value high, get 3 plus 5-minute candles, I will be short on a retest. I'll probably actually close here, but they should ideally hit the previous day value low. But there's some pretty massive orders through here that I don't want to mess with, so we need to do our weekly levels. All right. We can draw SIGs on the last 2 days. So it doesn't have to be the L period, because let's just say, excuse me, let's just say we have a spike where whatever the A period is here, right? Then it would be the top of the A period. But yes, it would be the top of the wick of the L period would be the spike base. It's crazy. Next weekend, my son has, I don't even know how many shows. his his first band is performing Saturday. And I believe, I don't know. I know I've explained this before and it's kind of hard to explain, but he's in a band that's like an established band. And then he also meets up with like a group of, I don't even know, probably like 12 to 15 kids. And they just kind of like vote on a group of songs and then they kind of switch out. Meaning like on one song you might have one singer, on another song you have another singer, whatever, guitarists switch out, blah 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 blah. And so that group that he's in is also performing at the same venue on Saturday. And then his other band is also performing at that same venue on Saturday. So I think on Saturday he has like 3 shows. And then I think the very next day on Sunday, both of his bands are playing at the same venue as well, which is crazy. So he's going to have like 5 shows this coming weekend. And unfortunately, I'm working, so I can't even go. There's our SIGs. Let's zoom out, look at the big picture here. Not really much of anything going on here. I mean, we have good volume on the day, but it's like fairly indecisive looking up here at the top as far as the candles are concerned. Obviously, it's a big volume, bullish day, but we were not able to make a new all-time high. So it looks like we're having a big fight up here as to whether we're going higher or going lower. Right now, it looks like we're going lower. Just because we have the spike that happened at the market close. We opened below our spike, which all of you guys should know is a bearish signal. Not only did we open below, but they bought it up into it and then sold off. And now we're below the spike. And from here, like I was saying, I really just want them to close this 30-minute candle and then give us a retest of this zone where I will hop in short. I guess now's probably a good time to look at the orders just because of where things are trading. I don't want futures traders to possibly miss a trade because I haven't shown the order flow yet. But yeah, there's some pretty massive volume here and here. There's also some large volume in here, but it's just kind of it's been run through. So I'm not expecting us to get too much of a reaction. I mean, we will see, like, the market never goes straight up or straight down. But, in those areas where we have that larger order flow that's been run through, we'll probably see, like a sell-off to there and a little bounce before it goes lower or whatever else. But I'm not marking them on my chart as, yeah, we'll see a reaction there initially, but it looks like price is just going to be able to go through it back and forth as it desires. All right, let's get this up on here. So, actually, I guess this area hasn't been run through. Yeah. interesting. I mean, we might get a bounce right here. So up here at the top, you can see, I mean, just massive orders coming in on our spike, right? On our M period. Almost 21,000, 25,000, 23,000, 39,000, 32,000, 30.5, 32,000, 33,000, right through here. And that's 67.21 to 67.25. And then it's kind of hard to decide what to select here. I mean, maybe it's this, because it looks like we're already kind of reacting to that level. So these are buyers, as we got our full body candles above, right? And they've come down to here and bounced. So this could be pretty interesting, I think. It's tough because we're looking at 21 to 14, 13. So I guess you can squeeze 8 points out of here, but you're going to have a tight stop. Unfortunately, kind of tighter than this whole zone. For me, like being short here, I kind of would like to have my stop above the spike, ideally. But there's no way you could do that if you want to take a trade here right now. So this is 09 to 13. All right. I'm going to close this chart now so I can see you guys again. Let's check out our fear and greed index, and let's check out our news for tomorrow. So we should be in greed again, yeah. Our news. So we have some FOMC members speaking at noon Eastern time. Governor Bailey speaking at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Other than that, nothing too crazy going on. Tuesday, overnight session, or specifically London session, is going to be wild. And then we have PMI, Powell speaking. So Tuesday is going to be a pretty wild day. What time is Powell speaking? Okay, morning. Excuse me. Thursday, overnight session again, a lot of news. And then existing home sales. And then Friday, revised consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. Eastern time. All right. I'm pretty sure this will be a sell side HVN by the morning, but for now we are unknown. We need confirmation. Excuse me. I'm dying a little bit right now. Um, when I woke up today, my son messaged me and he was like, "Do you want coffee?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Um, to be clear, I worked last night, and so for me, um, it's morning time right now, and I haven't had my coffee yet. And anyway, when I woke up, my wife and my son weren't home, and well, my daughter too. But he asked if I wanted coffee. I'm like, absolutely, I need coffee to survive, please. But then I don't know how long it's going to take before coffee gets here because I don't even know where they are. Um, and as much as coffee from like outside made by somebody else sounds amazing right now, um, I would just love a cup of coffee, period, before I die. Yeah. Worked way too much, David. Or actually, I should say, like, I mean, you guys know most of you were live with me on stream when they canceled me. And I, and I should say before I show this, I'm not a big food picture taking person. It was really hard to English right there. Um, but things did not go as planned, I'll say that. I was looking for like. I'm not being dramatic. So, I don't even really know how to put this into words, but basically, like, when I found out I was off work, I was like, oh, like, let's take the family out for dinner. And I was kind of looking for some place. I have to tell you guys, I have really bougie taste. Like, I can't help it. I like fine dining. I like, I mean, basically, like, it doesn't even matter. You could put two whiskeys in front of me and be like, which one's more expensive? And I guarantee you, or not even ask me which one's more expensive, ask me which one I like. Guarantee you every single time I'm going to pick the one that's more expensive. It doesn't matter if it's $5 more expensive or $1,000 more expensive. I'm always going to choose the more expensive one. And that's just who I am as a person, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I was kind of looking for a place where, I guess I should add, like, I'm kind of new to the area where we live. We've lived here for like 5 years, but you don't. There's still tons of like restaurants and whatever else to discover after living in a place for 5 years, especially if you don't go out a ton, which we don't. Um, but so anyway, I was looking for somewhere like kind of casual, where middle of the road, not crazy expensive, and yeah, I failed on that one. We went to, what's it called? Nuno's Bistro Bar. If you live in the area, go check this place out. Like, very, very impressive. It's in, what is it? Upland, but it's like right on the border of Upland and Montclair, I guess. I was actually surprised. I didn't even realize. I mean, it just showed on the screen, but they have I mean, first of all, they have crazy cocktails. Um, they're not really geared towards children, kind of obviously, but the waiter was like asking my son, like, "Oh, what do you want to drink?" And my son was kind of like looking at the menu and was struggling to pick something. And the guy goes, like, "You want some kind of, something like with a lemonade base?" And and then he goes, like, I can do any flavor, like pineapple lemonade, mango lemonade. Yeah, they have a full-on wood-fired pizza oven in there. Anyway, um, so my son ordered mango lemonade and absolutely loved it. And then, yeah, so like this was our food. Sorry, this is kind of funky. Um, I got salmon that was just absolutely insane with like a fennel salad with citrus, like a citrus vinaigrette. It was insane. My wife, you can't really see it, but she got like an herb chicken, and then my son, he got like basically it was literally $69. I was gonna say 70 just to round it out, but a $69 um, steak, and the staff was like loving him because he's always hilarious. The waiter was like, "What temperature do you want your steak cooked?" And he's like, "Correctly." And the guy kind of looked at him. He's like, "Medium rare, like the only way you're supposed to cook a steak. Please just cook it correctly." Anyway, really, really, like, really good meal. So, like I said, if you're in the area, definitely check them out. Um, with that said, boy, this is gonna be one, huh? Oh, we forgot to spike. We forgot to chart our spike. Oh, I don't like this. Man, I really need my coffee right now. Okay. Um, we would be interested in either of these scenarios. Um, I should add, Shorty shared something in his Discord the other day. Um, I wonder if I can find it really quickly because it's actually like worth finding. Just because my words will not do justice to what it is. Mm. Sorry. Apparently, this is much more difficult to find than I thought it was going to be. Hmm. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to read it because that's easier. At first glance, many people assume that when the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates, it should boost the stock market. Because borrowing is cheaper, companies can expand and consumers can spend more. And that can happen in the short term. But in reality, rate cuts often coincide with market weakness or even crashes. Rate cuttings are usually reactive, not proactive. The Fed generally cuts rates in response to economic weakness, and not just because it wants to. If the economy is strong, the Fed is more likely to raise rates to control inflation. So when the Fed is cutting, it often signals something is already going wrong. If the Fed is cutting aggressively, the economy must be in serious trouble. That can trigger fear, selling, or a liquidity crunch, leading to market dips even as borrowing costs fails or borrowing costs fall. When the Fed announces a rate cut, some traders rush in hoping cheaper money will boost the economy. This can create a temporary bullish spike, even if underlying conditions are weak. After the initial rally, investors start realizing, why is the Fed cutting? Is the economy really strong enough to rebound? If the answer is no, the market resumes its downtrend, often more aggressively. Historical data shows that sustained bear markets often start around the first or second rate cut, if not before. So then he posted this. The only thing that doesn't line up with what our market's doing is it saying if the answer is no, then the market resumes its downtrend, often more aggressively. We haven't seen a downtrend in quite a while. So, but anyway, something interesting to learn and read about. I didn't know that. So. Um, I don't know. I don't like to spend a ton of money on eating out, but I would say as a family, probably once a month, um, we'll have like a $200 to $300 meal, um, which yeah is pretty insane. I always pronounce this wrong, and I know I pronounce it wrong, but I love omasake, where sushi, where the chef like basically you go in, you don't order, and they just prepare what they have fresh that day. I think it's omakase, but whatever. We always go to, what is it? Yeah, we always go to this place, Shogun, where it's a tiny little place, and it's like $85 a person, and they'll ask you like if you have any allergies or preferences, but other than that, they just prepare whatever they have fresh that day. So we haven't been there in, I don't know, probably a month, but yeah, we tend to go there like once a month. Yeah, Shorty's my mentor. Um, I think this is kind of sketchy. Hopefully, everybody kind of understands what I'm looking at. If we're opening above our spike, or actually opening above all-time highs, for me, even opening above the spike doesn't really give us a super bullish indication. I mean, we could, as long as we break through all-time highs, then and we're able to hang out there for at least 15 minutes, then things start looking really, really bullish. But as long as we're below all-time highs, I'm not particularly bullish. We saw a lot of selling at the very top, right? Where they're not looking very strong up here. Um, let me see. Okay, so this is definitely sell side. I guess. I'm going to try to get. Um, it should be at 21. Actually, let me double check that. But um, I might just try to grab the 8 points there. No, I'm not doing this. I'd be way too worried about them coming up, you know, deeper into this sell side imbalance before going lower. And I also just can't ignore this level. So I'm over it. I'll wait till they clean stuff up, and then I'll worry about trading it tomorrow. Um, anyway, most of the scenarios that I see are extremely bearish, right? Um, Getting up here, making a new higher high will be wild, but if they do it, we should get a pretty big move. We've been, stuck in this range for a couple of days, and the breakout will be good, depending on which direction we go. But again, I'd be very surprised to see buyers up here. What in the world just happened? All right. If anybody has any questions, now would be the time. Shorty's going to be live at 6 p.m. Um, the sorry, what am I thinking about? Yeah. Anyway, that's it as far as charting's concerned. Um, Gosh, I don't know. I feel like I just more and more I feel like I should be short here and targeting here, but I don't like this. This here, they were accumulating, um, rocketed up, massive amount of sellers came in. They brought it back down to there, and they're buying again. They could potentially send it, to new all-time highs from here. But again, the sellers were super strong, and they could also potentially just send it all the way down here. But I don't want to be involved in this fight. Um, at least not where, I'm not able to get. Um, um, I'm not able to, like get enough points um, to where I'm not worried about getting stopped out on the trade. Like my stop has to be way too tight. So just not willing to risk it. Um, Mohammed asked, would it be better to join my mentorship or join his Discord? I mean, Shorty's Discord's where it's at. And if you're a member of Shorty's Discord, then my mentorship group is free. So there's all that. I will also throw it out there. If he's doing a deal right now, $1,200 one time for lifetime Discord membership. And then it also includes some extremely powerful private indicators um, that he doesn't sell very often. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know, and I'll put you in touch with him. Um, yeah, I hope so as well. I don't like this. I should be live tomorrow. While I'm doing this, I'm like super disappointed with my job. Um, this might sound kind of insignificant to some people, but um, they keep on tasking us with like more and more stuff that's not our responsibility. Um, and the most recent thing is they want us to go into. They want the lead person for the night to go into the surgical suites after midnight and leak test all of the vents, and there's like 12 of them. Um, as long as everything's running smoothly, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour, which isn't crazy. But if there's emergencies or whatever, like you have to drop everything and leave and go, tend to whatever. Um, and when you go back there, you have to put on a bunny suit. Um, and the last night that I was the charge person, I go there at midnight. I go to grab a bunny suit and there is none. And I'm like, great, what do I do? Our distribution center is not open at that time, so I have no way of getting a bunny suit like myself. So then I call the house supervisor and I'm like, hey, I have to go leak test the surgical vents and there's no bunny suits. Can you grab me one from distribution? And she's like, oh, I'm busy right now. I can't. And then she tells me distribution comes in at 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, I don't have the luxury of waiting till 2 in the morning. Because at that time I'm going to be busy doing staffing and I'm not going to be able to do both. And she's like, well, sorry, I'm busy. And basically hung up. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And so then I was like, oh, let me go run down to labor and delivery and see if they happen to have some. And they did. So I was able to get a bunny suit there. This is like a 20-minute ordeal at this point, right? So I'm already kind of frustrated. Part of the agreement from surgery for us doing the leak testing was that they would have the ventilators set up and ready to go, meaning the circuits would be on, everything's ready. We walk in, perform the leak test, put it in the logbook, and then go on and do the next one. The first room I walk in, no circuit. And there's none to be found anywhere in the room. So then I go to the next room, and there's no circuit, and there's also none to be found anywhere. So then I go in the third room, no circuit, and there's also none to be found. Fourth room, same thing. Fifth room, same thing. Sixth room, same thing. And I'm like, is this a fucking joke at this point? Like, am I being punked? Like, are they trying to see, like, how much it takes for me to go from being, like, chill to ready to throw things at people? And, like, putting the circuits on the ventilator is not a big deal, but there was none to be found anywhere. And, like, I'm in surgery, like, looking through random cabinets, looking through drawers, like, trying to find circuits. I finally found a couple. And so I put those on the first two machines and leak tested those. And then I was able to find more and put those on two more of the vents and leak test those. And then I finally found more and I was able to put them on the other two. And there was a point during this, I don't know, probably around the fifth vent where I walked in the room that I was ready to just throw my hands up and be like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, we're doing them a favor. The agreement was the machine was going to be ready, so we just walk in, leak test it, leave, right? And this has been an ongoing thing where I keep talking to my manager like, hey, they never have circuits on the machines, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't mind putting a circuit on. Yeah, it's an extra step. Yes, it slows down the whole process. Yes, it makes everything take longer, but I don't mind doing it if I can find some. So, like, where do they keep them? And they're like, oh, I don't know. They're just kind of here and there in a drawer. And I'm like, that's really helpful. Like, can we put them in one centralized place where we can go there and grab them. And anyway, it's just been an ongoing conversation where every time I see them, I'm like, hey, once again, X amount of vents with no circuit on them. And I'm like, and then you can never find any. It's really frustrating. And so somewhere around the fifth vent, I was like, we're doing them a favor and they're not meeting their end of the bargain. And I literally just want to be like, I'm not checking any of them tonight. I'm not leak testing any of them. They can come in the morning and they can figure it out. They're going to be pissed at me, but I don't care. Like, I don't have any of the supplies. You're not meeting your end of the bargain. Like, anyway, it was like, I was frustrated, but I stopped myself. I took a breath, and then I kept looking and finally found a bunch of circuits, but that took like an extra 20 minutes. And I guess the hard part is like, as the supervisor, we normally don't have patients, but that night we were a little bit busy. And so I had a patient workload plus all of my regular charge responsibilities. And then now, as it is, like, and then you throw a couple of emergencies in there, which we did have. We had two emergencies I had to respond to throughout the night. Always, very time consuming. Oh, and I guess also during this whole thing, like at night, we'll do emergent EKGs. The charge does for respiratory. And we're not supposed to do routine ones because that's not what we're there for. We're busy with our own stuff, but we'll do the emergent ones. And one of the floors calls and was like, hey, like we need a routine EKG for surgery tomorrow, but we put it in as a stat. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work that way. I'm like, the routine ones can be done, by the EKG tech when they come in the morning. Yeah, but they have surgery first thing in the morning at 7:30. I'm like, that's nice. The EKG tech gets here at 6:30. Call them right at 6:30 and be like, hey, we need this done right away because they're going into surgery. But that was like another little like added frustration on the top of the pile of things that are not our responsibility that we're volunteering to do, like to help out the hospital, to save money. It's the EKG techs don't do enough EKGs at night to justify having a whole person there. And so, it was like all of these extra responsibilities that we're doing favors for, where they're just like piling crap on top of me when I'm already busy because we're short staffed. I was like at the end of my rope, and I've just been thinking about it more and more and more and more, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to step down. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to step down with like, I don't know what word to use, but like I'm going to, I guess make a little bit of a scene out of it. So like the lady who is like in charge of the surgery vents, will always like email us like, oh, we're so grateful for all your help and blah, 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 whatever. And I appreciate it. I'm not playing that down. But again, you guys need to meet your end of the bargain, which is just to have a circuit on the vent, which is not difficult. Or again, at least a place where I can grab them, right? Like, I don't mind doing it. Yes, self-demote. But like, just have them in a place where I can do it. But anyway, I think I'm going to shoot out an email, to my director, to my manager, and CC this lady in surgery and be like, due to the following reasons, I'm going to step down as a charge. I'm not going to do charge anymore. When we're asked to do a favor, that shouldn't, while you look for a tech to do the leak test for the vents, like while you're looking to hire somebody, it's already been a few months and the favor just seems like it's never going to stop being a favor. And, as we get into our busy season, like anybody that's an RT knows this, like David, when winter comes, like we're hopping, like, sometimes you just run all night. I don't have time to go and leak test vents. And so I don't think they understand, like, or they're playing down like how difficult it's going to get as we get closer to winter or as we get into the winter. And so all of this, like I'm going to just kind of like lay it out. Like the agreement was there would be circuits on the vent. Again, I don't mind doing it. It's not like some massive process, but I can never find circuits. And then I spend whatever, 10, 20, 15 minutes running around trying to find circuits and blah, 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 blah. It's very frustrating. And then on top of that, now our director, and the hospital I work in, I don't remember the exact amount, but I think we have like just shy of 400 beds. And right now, when I work as charge, I have very little downtime where I'm not busy already doing a task. And now our director wants us to, on top of what we are already doing, go to every single person, working under us and ask them about each one of their patients that's on a ventilator, a BiPAP machine, or a high flow, which, can easily be 20 to 30 patients. And they want us to get like a full report on each of those patients and then put it on this piece of paper and email it to them every single shift. And I'm like, I don't know. Like there's nights where I won't see a person, that I'm working with in a scenario where we could sit down together and talk about patients. We see each other like taking care of patients together, but we don't have like that time to sit down and discuss their patient workloads, whatever, get report from them. And I'm like, where does he think this extra, like 1, 2, 3 hours is going to come from? When I'm already like, feeling, a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's already being asked of us. And the more and more I think about it, I'm just like, it's not worth the stress. Like, I took on the role as a charge really just to help out because they asked me, like, would you be willing to do it? We need a person. And I'm like, hey, if that's what the department needs, sure, I'll do it. There's no incentive for me to do it, but there's extra stress. Like I get, I think 5% extra pay when I work as a charge, which is nothing. Like, I think it works out to like $12 for my entire shift. So yeah, anyway, I guess I'm venting, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to, tell them that I'm stepping down and that I'm not going to do it anymore and give them all of my reasons. And, yeah, no, I mean, they do have like an automatic dashboard, but it's not able to capture like the human component, right? So like, I guess specifically what they want to know is like, let's just say we have somebody on 40% FiO2 and their oxygen saturation is consistently at 100%. And for whatever reason, their oxygen's not brought down lower. They want to know why we didn't bring it down. Like, cause there could be a valid reason. Like they could be having like a lot of cardiac events or whatever. And, they don't want to put more strain on the heart. Yeah, but they're doing it to all of us, not just to me, David. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I guess I'm talking about it with you guys because I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. But there's a part of me that says, like, try to do it and see what happens. I don't think it's going to be manageable. And then after I realize it's not manageable, just step down at that point. Or just step down right away and then let them know my reasoning. But we'll see. Sorry, just posting the charts. Oh, we need to change this. This is now sell side. Yeah, Karen. I'm sure it's everywhere, but that's part of it. Um, Jack saying previous week value area highs messed up on SPY. Are you sure you have live data, Jack? Yeah, it has. Healthcare just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter. One of my favorite doctors was telling me, like, this was a few years ago, but he was saying before, um, they would basically, like, the doctors would see their handful of patients and they could, like, um, I don't know what the right way to word this is, but they could take their time with them, right? And money was good. But now it's more like McDonald's, where they have to see a lot of patients, um, to make like a decent amount of money. Um, and they can't spend as much time with each patient because they have to see such a high volume of people. And I guess the issue that I was having with this conversation is like, I know him as a person, and his quality of care isn't going down, but he can't be, like that. He doesn't have time to stand around and socialize, basically, and like spend a lot of time like talking with the patient and the family and whatever else. He's got to get in, do his job, get out, and get to the next patient. Um, and that's a pretty crazy comparison, saying that healthcare is like McDonald's now, where you've got to turn out a high volume, otherwise you're not going to make any money. Um, yeah, I'm not sure, Jack. Sometimes like my level could be wrong, but I don't see anything wrong, and so then it becomes a matter of like if two people say my level's wrong, then I'll look into why it could possibly be wrong. But if it's one person, then yeah, again, just need more confirmation, one way or the other. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to call it a day here. Y'all have a good one, and we will see you next time. All right. Peace out. Bye. Or actually, sorry. Shorty will be live in about an hour and 20 minutes. And then I should be trading live tomorrow with you guys. So watch out for that. All right. Much love, much respect.